Here's your wrestling news for January 27th, 2023, and we're starting off today with Vince McMahon, and ever since his return, all talk has been on the potential sale of WWE, with no shortage of potential buyers lining up to make an offer. Vince has been at the forefront of a potential sale, which he claims was the major reason for coming out of retirement, but one big name may be about to make their offer. One name who many consider a favorite is Comcast, who own NBCUniversal, the parent company for WWE's broadcast partner, the USA Network. Given that the WWE Network is also on Peacock, another Comcast property, WWE and the business are certainly close, and during a Comcast earnings call, Jeff Shell, the CEO of NBCUniversal, was asked about a possible WWE acquisition or merger. He said, "We're always looking for bolt-on acquisitions that bolster our businesses. Two examples, we bought DreamWorks Animation, and it has been paying off steadily since our acquisition. Just now with Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, which is a big hit at the box office, and really our entrance back into the Shrek universe continues to make that acquisition look really favorable. And our Blumhouse investment over time, where we're partners with Jason Blum, and we have a big hit, Megan, this month, which is coming out of that investment." NBCUniversal has a lot of companies in its ledger, and WWE could easily be next, though they are expected to face competition from the likes of Fox, Disney, Tony Khan, and the Saudi PIF, just to name a few. Ultimately, Vince McMahon will be the one to decide WWE's fate. Do you think NBCUniversal will buy WWE? Sound off in the comments. McMahon's return has seen monumental changes to WWE, including the return of Brad Bloom, his chief of staff, who was fired just 1 month earlier. Not only is Brad Bloom back, but as Ringside News were the first to report, he returned to WWE's offices in Stamford this week. While WWE's board may have initially voted against Vince's return, he is now back, and alongside Bloom and the rehired Michelle Wilson and George Barrios, has quite the support system internally. Only time will tell how much McMahon changes in WWE before he sells the company, though Kevin Dunn made it clear during the talent meeting before Smackdown that they have not implemented any changes that McMahon sent down. This is a still developing story, and there will likely be many additional pieces to the puzzle. Keep checking back with Slat Rock Wrestling as we continue providing up-to-date coverage for the entire pro wrestling world. It was all the way back in April of last year that Sami Zayn tried to curry favor with the Bloodline, and that has paid off for the man now known as the Honorary Uce. On this week's Raw, Zayn had a trial written backstage by Zach Hyatt, and it was the last-minute defense of Jey Uso that saved Sami from being found guilty. Zayn's story has been one of the most popular parts of WWE programming over the past year, and it may have forced WWE to change some huge plans it has had in store. In the absence of The Rock, it was believed that Cody Rhodes would be challenging Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 39, but as Dave Meltzer explained on Wrestling Observer Radio, the plan could be for Zayn to take on the Tribal Chief at the Showcase of the Immortals. When you look at the ratings Sami is bringing in, it's clear that he is the person fans want to see, and while Cody is expected to become champion one day, it's entirely possible that his push may have to wait until SummerSlam. Zayn is such a huge draw right now that WWE should strike while the iron is hot in a situation similar to the organic Kofi Mania push in 2019. In recent weeks, WWE has teased a match between Reigns and Zayn, and the Tribal Chief has said that Sami would undergo another challenge this Saturday at the Royal Rumble. Tomorrow night's show will see Sami's real-life best friend Kevin Owens challenge Reigns, and that could be the catalyst for this long-awaited face turn. Are you excited for Sami Mania and the possibility that he'll be the one to dethrone Roman Reigns? Share your take in the comments. Now, Ronda Rousey hasn't been seen on WWE TV since losing the Smackdown Women's title to Charlotte Flair 4 weeks ago, and fans are anticipating her next move. Although it seemed that she might start a tag team with Shayna Baszler, that cooled off too, and that's not the only change to affect the baddest woman on the planet. Not only were there some ideas for her that just didn't pan out prior to this hiatus, but she also dropped the title far sooner than anyone planned. That's according to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful, who reports, "The last several weeks have seen some significant changes to the women's title programs that were tentatively planned for the first quarter of WWE in 2023. The Ronda Rousey SmackDown Women's title defense against Raquel Rodriguez that took place on December 30 was actually originally planned to go down almost a full month later. Fightful has gained information that displays that the match was set for the WWE Royal Rumble as of early December. However, the move was made to add Rousey and Raquel's match and Charlotte Flair's subsequent return and win to add more to the show. It was added that several WWE plans have changed as a result of this match, and that initially, there was a tentative plan for Charlotte Flair to challenge Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair, but that was when Rousey was still champion. Flair is the only horsewoman that Belair is yet to defeat, and it was said that Rhea Ripley was supposed to take on Ronda Rousey, but that was when Rousey was still champion. Rousey was presented with several creative options, but they didn't work out, and at that point, the decision was made to move the title match with Rodriguez up and put the title on Flair. We'll have to see what happens next in this situation, but Ronda Rousey is currently not scheduled for the 2023 Women's Royal Rumble match, leading to questions as to when exactly the UFC legend will next appear for WWE. What's your take on this situation with Ronda Rousey? Sound off in the comments. Over to AEW now, as MJF has been more arrogant than ever since becoming world champion and remains dedicated to keeping his character going at all times. MJF's commitment to his role has been praised by countless people, and now the holder of the Big Burberry belt has had an interaction with fans that they will never expect. On Twitter, a video surfaced where MJF was waiting for an elevator at the Lexington hotel, but as he walks in, another person tries to enter the lift as well, maybe to greet him. As seen in the clip, MJF was having none of this and let the fan know that the elevator was solely for the AEW World Champion. This is hardly the first time that MJF has shown that he's all about himself, as he continues to be AEW's top heel both in and out of arenas. Right now, MJF is engaged in a feud with Bryan Danielson and is expected to face the American Dragon soon enough, but if you see MJF on the street, it's probably for the best that you keep your distance. Now, WrestleMania is WWE's most anticipated yearly event, and as we get closer to the show, there's been a lot of questions about Roman Reigns. While we reported earlier that WWE could have Reigns take on Sami Zayn this April, two huge names have also been rumored for the Tribal Chief, namely Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock. Rock hasn't had a match go over 30 seconds since 2013, while Austin returned to the ring last year following a 19-year retirement. Speaking on his To Be the Man podcast, Ric Flair discussed the possibility of either man returning to the ring this year and believes that it's far more likely that we'll see the Texas Rattlesnake lace up his boots. Steve will only do it if he wants to do it. As far as The Rock goes, obviously he doesn't need the money, and if he did it, I don't see him doing a favor, and why would he? I think it's more likely that Steve Austin would come back. While Flair's co-host Conrad Thompson said The Rock could come back as a favor to his cousin, Flair said that Reigns doesn't need one, and that it's more likely that he'll face Austin than the Great One. Hopefully fans get a clearer picture of the WrestleMania plans for Roman Reigns at tomorrow's Royal Rumble, but with the Great One's XFL League set to launch next month, the odds of him competing at WrestleMania are looking increasingly slim. Back to AEW, as this week's Dynamite was an emotional yet action-packed episode of the Wednesday show, all in the memory of Jay Briscoe. Almost all of the rosters from AEW and ROH attended to watch Mark Briscoe make his Dynamite debut against Jay Lethal, but sadly, not everyone was able to make it. Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select reports that Kenny Omega wasn't at the Rupp Arena this week, but he would have been if not for visa issues. As a Canadian, dealing with visas is just a part of the life of Kenny Omega for him to appear in the US, and it's a shame that bad timing meant he couldn't make it onto this week's show. The tribute show for Jay Briscoe was only confirmed within AEW on Tuesday, so the roster had little time to prepare for the event, and hopefully Omega will be back on TV very soon. Over to Impact Wrestling, and if you've seen any of Joe Hendry's work, you'll know that he is something of a songsmith and has taunted opponents in several promotions with his musical stylings. Not only did Hendry create his own entrance theme, but he has mocked Moose with his own song, and now has turned his attention to Matt Cardona. In his latest song, Hendry pokes fun at Cardona's love of action figures and even poked fun at Brian Myers as well as Matt's marriage to Chelsea Green. Perhaps the most cutting line in the video, which came after Cardona and Myers lost a tag match, was when Hendry said that Cardona will always be Edge's bitch, referencing his early days on WWE's main roster. Needless to say, Cardona was irate, and the two will settle their differences when Hendry defends the Impact Digital Media Championship against Cardona on a future episode of Impact TV. Cardona may have his sights set on dethroning Hendry for the Digital Media Championship, but judging by recent reports, that isn't all he's focused on. For months, the former NWA World's Heavyweight Champion has teased returning to WWE as part of Triple H's new regime, and that may be about to happen. PW Insider reports that Cardona and Hendry did have their title match at the latest Impact tapings, which is scheduled to air on February 2nd, but this was believed to be the final Impact tapings for the former Zack Ryder. Some have even suggested that Cardona could be returning to WWE as soon as tomorrow's Royal Rumble event, and it has been reported that his wife Chelsea Green has already been re-signed. With Green reportedly under contract, returning to WWE would allow Matt to spend plenty of time with his other half, and we'll have to see if this power couple does indeed return as part of tomorrow's Royal Rumble matches. Would you like to see Cardona return to WWE, and what do you think would be different if he does? Let us know in the comments. One name who knows all about returning to WWE is Bray Wyatt, and since his impactful comeback at Extreme Rules, WWE has done all they can to keep his momentum going. Right now, Wyatt is feuding with LA Knight, but is also in a storyline with Uncle Howdy, and it remains to be seen how Alexa Bliss fits into all this. What we do know is that WWE has big plans for Wyatt, as on his show, Dave Meltzer said that Bray is listed as the #1 babyface on Smackdown. Wyatt is also considered the biggest star that Roman Reigns has not properly feuded with since his transformation into the Tribal Chief, but don't expect the two to lock horns anytime soon. In his report, Meltzer added that Roman is well aware that those who feud with Bray always look a lot worse than they did going in, something Reigns and WWE will want to avoid for the head of the table. With Reigns running out of credible challengers for his undisputed WWE Universal title, the company may have no other choice than to book this feud one day, but for now, WWE wants to keep their top heel and top face on SmackDown as far away as possible. During a recent episode of SmackDown, Bray Wyatt brought back the Firefly Funhouse, which returned with all its various puppets. Huskus the Pig Boy, Ramblin' Rabbit, and Abby the Witch were just some of the names to appear, but don't expect a return from The Fiend. Speaking with Ryan Satin this week, Wyatt opened up about The Fiend, saying that the character died at WrestleMania 37. The April 2021 event saw The Fiend lose to Randy Orton in 6 minutes in what is Bray's most recent televised match to date. That'll change soon enough, as Wyatt will compete against LA Knight at tomorrow's Royal Rumble, and though The Fiend remains popular in the eyes of fans, Wyatt's days of channeling that dark character is over. LA Knight has been with WWE for less than 2 years, but the former Impact star has made quite an impression since his NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day debut in February 2021. On this week's Raw, Knight shared the ring with 2 huge stars, namely The Undertaker and Bray Wyatt, the latter of whom he has been feuding with for months. It was during this segment that The Undertaker almost chokeslammed Knight, who was instead leveled with Sister Abigail, but according to Knight, the dead man got off easy. Speaking to Chris Van Vliet, Knight said he spared The Undertaker from being slapped in the face, noting, "Well, I'll tell you what, he was about this close to get the slap right in the mouth, but I decided to spare him. But I'll tell you the truth, it's funny because you always hear the cliche when you're standing in that ring and that bell tolls, you know, it's chills. And I'm like, sure, once that hit, it was chills, it was pretty wild. But at the same time, to be standing there and doing my thing, and to be very recognized, that audience was right on top of everything I had to say, even with The Undertaker in the ring. So I mean, that's a big feather in my cap as far as I'm concerned. And at the same time, you know, looking at a guy who's undoubtedly a legend, a Hall of Famer, crazy Knight leading into this Royal Rumble." Knight will compete against Wyatt in the very first Pitch Black match tomorrow night, which will be Bray's first televised match since April 2021, and with sharing the ring with the likes of Wyatt and The Undertaker, it's clear that WWE has a lot of faith in LA Knight.